We are streaming. We are looking at toys. We are here. Another Friday. Another week. Another live stream. Looking at figures. Looking at toys. Make sure everything is working. Things going. Thank you to whoever gave the first like on this live stream. Appreciate it. But we are here. We are doing our thing. I am Justin, the Zilla, with the fit. Y'all means all. Weird southern stuff. This is North Carolina, by the way, where I'm from. Gabe, welcome. Welcome to the live stream, bro. Welcome to another Friday. Glad to have y'all. But we're back. I'm Justin the Zilla. We're going to be doing our thing as usual. Let me get a little closer. There we go. Get me a little more comfortable. But yeah, we're here. We are doing our thing. Back talking toys. How y'all doing? Those of you who are in the live stream, we are back doing our thing. But yeah, also want to rep again, Frogs and Toads. I got my Hayashimo finally. Awesome, Gabe. Hope you enjoy that. I've been seeing reviews on that for a bit, like ever since I think it came out. Looks great. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, and thank you for the like as well. But awesome, Gabe. Good to hear. Some new goodies, some new stuff going on. Also got the Godzilla X Kong Kongs. Awesome. I assume that's the power arm, and then the regular one that has just like the axe as well. Those look great. So awesome, Gabe. Great to hear that you finally got some new Godzilla stuff. Yeah. Yes. I've been needing to get some new Godzilla stuff. I've been meaning to get they do have a at my local GameStop, they do have the Mothra from, I think, King of Monsters, I think it is. Yeah, the regular one. So yeah, so might pick up her, but I did see at New York Comic Con, Haya was showing off that they did have the what was it? Like their new kind of like ultimate version of Mothra, like a different version, but where like her wings are actually like articulated. They look wired. It looks cool. So I don't know what's going on there, but it looks awesome. But Gabe also says better than the SHF. Yeah, Godzilla X Kong for sure. I mean, any of those. Yeah, I feel like any kind of version of that Kong hasn't really been done that well up until, you know, Haya, and they locked in, especially with the newer stuff. It's so good. But Gabe says a Suko and Mothra 2-pack. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know that was like a full 2-pack. I didn't know if they clarified or not, if that was a 2-pack or if that was just like a single release where it'd be like a different kind of thing. But that makes sense that they would do that. So yeah, I am talking about that, but that'll be cool. That's like the perfect way, I think, to kind of do that anyways. So probably will pick that up instead of getting that old Mothra, especially if she's like brand new. I'm like, yeah, give me a Mothra. I'll take it. Yeah, still need to get the Rodan, also a King Ghidorah at some point. I just need a good one. Might be something down the road. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. But we're here. Another week. Another live stream. Another day of rambling about toys. And as y'all can see, the wall has changed a tiny bit. Something's missing. It's almost like we're looking at something from the wall. I haven't replaced this spot. It's like I did move the Donatello up there just to fill out the hole, but there's still a hook there. So we'll fill that at some point. We'll update it next week. But any case, Gabe says, yeah, I think it'll be about $60, but probably come out to 2,100. Hey, yeah. Yeah, if everything is going on, be stupid. It'll probably be like $80. Or maybe 90, if anything. But need to get me some new Godzilla stuff at some point too. I'm really just waiting on, hopefully at some point, if to get the figure arts, the Anguirus, that goes with the Godzilla one, the Godzilla versus Gigan one. So we'll kind of see. We'll see what goes on. But yeah, time will tell. But anyways, yeah, so Donnie's up there for now. We'll see what goes here. We'll kind of see what the orientation changes next week, even if I get to that. Hopefully I should. I got an idea of what could go up there, but we'll see. Whatever fits, essentially. And I can always adjust these hooks in any case. Donnie is not straight. I just remember that. Gabe says, I think 60 because Mothra by herself is 50, but Zuko will probably add an extra 10. That makes sense. It's a smaller figure, so maybe 15. True. But 60 isn't bad. If they can stick to that, that would be very nice. Because that's not a bad price. I mean, they've been pretty good with, yeah, when it comes to prices. I mean, I think the most expensive I think it is right now is the Haya King Ghidorah, and that's like 160. I think right now, typically, if you're getting that, especially with especially like with shipping, and also if you're not getting, I think, from a major retailer, unless they really actually want to do that. But my local comic shop does have, that Heisei, the Haya King Ghidorah, and he's for like 160. And I'm like, I'm like, that's a lot. I kind of wanted to pay 120, but you know, Mecha King Ghidorah is 120. Yeah. But, you know, but that's like excluding shipping, because that's like the whole thing, you know. Because that's like their base price, but it's like, it's about $40, which isn't bad for shipping, but, you know. And that's the most expensive one. Yeah. I need to get that Mecha King Ghidorah. Man, I'm gonna have to snatch that thing up. Well, I got something for my Christmas list, I guess, and my birthday list, technically. Well, that's next year, but it's in January. Spoilers. As you all probably already know here on the stream, if you've been following. I want it so bad, bro. A Mecha King Ghidorah, a good Mecha King Ghidorah figure is gonna be a bomb. It's gonna be the best kind of like figure of the year. I can already think about it. But even getting that regular Haya Heisei King Ghidorah is going to be nice at some point. And I just need a good King Ghidorah figure. Because I've never had a actual really articulated figure. I've only had the Bandai America one from, I think it's technically GMK. It is GMK, but better than 674 SHF one. For true, because they are doing, because did they do a, yeah, they did do, because that was like their first one, because they did do a regular, because they did do, the Heisei one was like one of like their first ones. I think it was like their first ever Ghidorah. And then I think recently they also did it out, excuse me, that they are doing a Mecha King Ghidorah. I don't think so. It might be just Haya, from what I know. I can't remember. And then also, of course, they also announced the Showa one, which looks fabulous, by the way. But I might just wait till Haya can get to it, just for seeing future stances, if prices will be a little bit better in the future. We'll kind of have to see, but time will tell. Time will tell. But definitely just need of a Ghidorah in any ways. And I got a pretty good Heisei with the NECA Bio Goji. But I do need to get a Haya Godzilla at some point just to get my hands on it. We'll kind of see. It'll be in time. It'll be in due time. Because I'm spending too much anyways on other lines and toys. So Godzilla stuff it gets kind of pushed back. Because it's a lot of moolah. And I don't got that much moolah. I got moolah now, but not that much. Well, let's check stuff. Okay, that's working. All right. But in any case, of course, New York Comic Con is happening right now. A lot of reveals, mainly with Legends, and with Hasbro, and just a bunch of stuff with Haya, I think, as well. I think that that's a debut, like that 2-pack, or did they show that off before? I can't remember. But in any case, a lot of stuff to look forward to. I like the new wave that that they showed off. With the Werewolf by Night figure. Then you have the Phantom Rider. You have that 6-arm. I think it is the Matt Gargan Spider-Man, which is nice to get, but not my preferred look. For that Matt Gargan version of him, I kind of want him more monstrous, but more casual. That's fine. And I do like 6-arm Spider-Man, so I won't complain about that in any case. And then who else did they have? They also had Enchantress. She's been needed to get an update for like forever. Her original figure is pretty good, but I like those new effect parts, and I like the new sculpt that they got going on there. And then World War II Logan, I think who it is. I think that's what it was. It is kind of like War Logan. I just call him War Logan, but he looks badass. Definitely need to get him. And then the one like the green crystal looking dude who goes with Crystar, he looks great. So probably get him. I think the one figure I'm kind of like on is just the Iron Man. I don't really care for it too much. I'm not familiar with that costume, so I'm just like, all right, that's there. I guess so. It's just another Iron Man, just like another Spider-Man and a Wolverine. But, but Spider-Man and Wolverine, they got cool things going on. Iron Man is like, it's kind of like a pick and choose. I'm kind of like, if I care about the look, I might get it. But usually I'm kind of like, he's not like on the level that like a Spider-Man is. Because I got a whole shelf dedicated to just Spider-Man, so I can fit him anywhere. But in any case, do want to update about stuff I did pick up. I do actually want to give a little teaser before we look at our pickups, because I did get one thing, but it's a fun thing and kind of a spoiler for next week, because this won't be the Halloween one, but this will be this one. This might be that guy. We'll see. But I did want to show off. I got my Ghostface pants. Got this at Spirit of Halloween. Little neon Ghostface. Which also goes into our pickup, which is the NECA Ghostface Inferno figure. I believe this was out last year, from what I believe. What is it? Where's your copyright? Where's all your thingies? Where's your year? I think it was released last year, technically. It's just trademarks. Nothing really giving me a date, but cool figure. Oh, I've been needing a new Ghostface for a while, and I think I even mentioned that last stream when we opened up the NECA Jigsaw. He looks great on the shelf. He's there on the shelf, but I was like, I need to get me a new Ghostface. They also did have Pamela Voorhees there too, so definitely got to get her, because you need Jason's mom. If you got Jason, you got to get his mom. The original, the Friday the 13th killer. But yeah, new Ghostface, looking pretty sick. Has all the different kind of masks, that are going on there, and even, of course, has like the undersuit, so where he can have like the flamethrower going on there. Can you see that? I can't see it, so I'm like, bruh. But expect this next week. So look at that. Look at that. Can't wait. I can't remember if this is like a specific look he has, if this is just kind of a more generic kind of thing, because I haven't seen the last Scream movie where they're in New York and they're kind of being stalked by the Ghostface killer again. So I got to see. But he looks great, and a much needed upgrade to the old NECA Ghostface. Because I forget what that one specifically was. It wasn't, it's not an 8-inch, because it's just the regular, like the NECA, kind of like 7-inch scale. Because he's not like taller, than Jason or Michael, and those guys are pretty huge. So you know, it'll be a nice upgrade. It might even be my excuse to have two Ghostface on the shelf, to have one be the original to where it was, what was it? It was Sid and it was, what was their names? It was Matthew Lillard and who's the other actor? That's gonna annoy me so much that I don't know the main guy who was really Ghostface, really, in that movie. Oh, Billy's mother from the sequel. But in any case, I love those two goofballs. I kind of wish that they would do more actual, like, civilians, or do, like, the actual, like, the other characters from those movies. Because, of course, we'd love to get, like a Sidney Prescott, and, of course, get Sid and Billy. It would just work. It would just work so well, to actually have the cast of characters, that you can actually, like, one, display, and then two, if you do photography, have them in the pictures. Especially if you have, like, it's like I'm thinking about, because I have the extreme sets, the mansion diorama, and that would be perfect to do him in. So, and we might do that with this guy. We'll see. Time will tell. But in any case, nothing else. Just looking forward to doing more stuff. And then really for the Halloween special, I'm hoping I'll be able to dress up. I got a costume that's, I think, being made right now. Like, it's processing and being made as we speak. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get it in on time. I'm going to scoot this back actually a bit more again. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get that on time. And I also do have another thing coming in later. So, like, when is that going to be? Probably sooner than later. So we'll kind of see. I'm keeping my eyes out. And my dog might be barking, so you probably would hear whenever my folks get that thing for me. Because it's a big thing, so be ready. Because I'm ready for it. Because I thought that the thing that I ordered would be here on time, because I knew it was shipping today, but I was hoping it'd be here like a little bit sooner, but they were taking their sweet time. Like all the other stuff that I ordered, I got here on time, but, not the thing that I want to show on camera just quite yet. So we'll see. But if y'all have any questions or want to see anything before we get going with looking at our main figure for the night, just to stall a bit, I might give it a couple minutes and we'll get right to 20 minutes and then we'll switch our camera. Hopefully we'll probably have to readjust anyways. So I'm going to scooch this down. Anyways, so that's doing that. And also, I got a purple light, so my eyes are kind of purpley. And I'll be looking for that delivery truck. So we'll see in due time. I want to really talk about something. I don't really know. But that I guess we can just talk about the Jigsaw from last week. Cool figure. Nice figure. It looks great. It's like, I'm glad I got both him and Billy. But Billy the puppet on the shelf. It's like on his little tricycle. But they're cool. It's like they do kind of like blend into the back because, it's mainly all black and red. So it's like he doesn't really stick out too much, but he looks great. And he works perfectly for the horror shelf. It's like the horror shelf has been kind of built in. I do need to get more actual like monsters. Do I really need more monsters? I got like most of the Universal ones. I have to really see because I got Creature, I got Wolfman, I got Dracula, I got the Invisible Man, I got the Phantom of the Opera, the Mummy, another Frankenstein, a Nosferatu. Well, I don't have the NECA Nosferatu. I have the Mezco. The Nosferatu is like their second version where he was like in all black and red, as always. Kind of worked with Saw. I should have done that comparison, but I didn't think about it. But got plenty of monsters, but need more. There's always plenty of things going on here, but think we're going to switch on over. Oh, yeah. And so then, once that other package gets here, we'll switch back over to me for a minute and then kind of show off. And we will open it. We'll take it out of the actual shipping box and show you what it is. But probably won't be opening it for a bit. But we'll get into the details later. But we're going to switch on over. Look at our things. Look at our toys. Open something. And have fun. All right. Get on going. And switch. There he is. Mr. Mouse. Well, Mr. Jaw. Excuse me. I'm going to scooch you over here. There we go. Get you a bit more centered. The toad. Okay. There we are. Do see a lot of Batman and Superman. Hold up. Is that straight on? I can't tell if that's really straight on. That looks straight on, but I can't really tell. But in any case, I think it looks cool. I love this packaging. And of course, this is a figure that has been, well, a figure that has been on the shelf for a while. Really being the home of my, of the 2-pack of the Skeletor. Yeah, from this same kind of wave-ish, kind of like the same kind of style of figures. So they've been up on the wall. But it's nice to finally get down this Mouse Jaw from the Turtles of Grayskull. My first actual one that I'm opening. And the only one I think I actually own of the Turtles of Grayskull. I don't think I have any other one. Yeah, it's just this one. I think it's mainly just because it's like, I think he was down on clearance for, I think he was about like $5 to maybe like $10 cheaper. And so I was like, you know what? He looks cool. I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna pick him up, and I don't even have a trap jaw. Anyways, so it's nice. It's like, but at some point, I will definitely get a classic trap jaw because you just need it. It's kind of like, it's kind of like if you're gonna do a He-Man collection, you gotta kind of do it right. You gotta get all your main guys, but so far, just sticking with just He-Man and Skeletor, and and then like a few other characters. We'll get to them. But yeah, there's our Mouse Jaw. Looking pretty sick. Of course, with this being the Masters of the Universe X TMNT line. This is of course a mix-up of Trapjaw and a Mauser. So really cool. But we're gonna get into the package and we'll get up and close with it. So of course here at the top you have this nice little Turtles of Grayskull, Mouse Jaw, evil and armed with Mauser, and you have some nice little image art of there of Mouse Jaw, with the Mauser, and also have where the Mauser is on his actual hand, which you can do with this toy. But nice kind of detailing with all the with all like the kind of like the stone wall, kind of purplish, and then like the green glow of the mutagen. Even have some right there with the ooze right there, looking pretty cool. Have your whole kind of like your outline here on the packaging with some piping going on here, kind of like a sewer system, but more ooze going on there. Have your Mattel logo. Have your Masters of the Universe X Nickelodeon but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles sticker there, and then have your ooze there, and then Build-A-Figure Metal Bolo or Boto. Metal Botto, so Roboto, but he's Metal Head, whatever his name was. I can't remember. But 1 of 4, so where you get like a piece of these guys. Yeah, with per figure of this thing. I forget the rest. I don't even know if they even show them. But on the side, have the Turtles of Grayskull have a nice, same kind of different kind of like, kind of drawing there, kind of image of the two things. Yeah, with the Mauser going, what am I doing? And then you have Trapjaw. I'll just call him Trapjaw until they're the same. Or Mousejaw. His name is Mousejaw. And then you have him again with the Mouser attachment on there. Turtles of Grayskull. With more piping and stuff going on there at the bottom. Nothing much, just all your legalese. 2023, I've been sitting on this figure for 3 years. Well, 2 years. Nearly 3. And then your barcode there and all your thing. Contents, 1 figure and accessories. Well, that's a lot of accessories. But on the back here, had this nice little logos here of the Masters of the Universe and TMNT. And then some awesome artwork of the Castle Grayskull, where you have a mousetrap shooting his laser and has a bunch of Mousers that are surrounding. I think that's... Is that April or is that Sheila? I don't know who that is, but that's Leonardo for sure. I mean, easy enough. He looks great. And some awesome artwork. Look at that. Definitely got to say that. And then, unbeknownst to him, Trapjaw was the first of Krang's ooze experiments, the cybernetic walking weapon of destruction, fused with Baxter Stockman's Mauser, Mauser technology, making him a mindless minion in Skeletor's mutant army. So that's really cool. Really neat. And then insert Mauser into arm. And then the Build-A-Figure shows what you get. So you get all the little kind of like weapon accessories there, including the arm and an extra hand that go to complete this. But we'll see if we can maybe use this for this guy at some point. But then Mattel empowering the next generation through play. But really cool. Really, really nice. And love the packaging. As always, it's very, very impressive. The way that they're able to do this and get everything working. So yeah, we are gonna get here. We're gonna move my lights. Excuse me. So they do actually face him. There we go. Pretty nice. And just so I'm not getting blasted with light. I think we will go ahead, and I am actually gonna adjust my light a bit, get it more evened out because it's kind of bothering me. That's not perfect, but there we go. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead, get this figure open. Looks great, and yeah, and I just love this packaging. I love the Masters of the Universe, kind of like the packaging. It is very classic, but it always has a very kind of like unique style and very nice and super cool. Especially it's like doing all this Turtles of Grayskull stuff. I just love them as a duo. I never thought about it, but you know, it works out. So we're gonna go ahead. I think we'll be able to cut here on the side. And you know what that means. Getting out. I'm able to get it. Our trusty, well, I always do it this way, the X-Acto. This can, yeah, the X-Acto blade. Can this? There we go, X-Acto with the thing. Can you focus on that? Thank you. Okay. But yeah, there it is. Here's our side. And I think we're just able to just cut right down here. I think that's really it. So we'll see. We'll put that to the side. We're gonna see what we can do here. Unless there's multiple tabs, it seems like there are. Oh, there we go. Okay, nice. Oh, then even shows you little instructions here, how to do it. So, yeah, so when you want to put the Mauser onto the arm, you just take out the legs, you attach the legs on the side, and then you have the Mauser just attached there. So very nice. Damn it, I'm already working up this. I don't want to ruin this packaging, so I can keep it for use. There is little thing here. I don't think there's a... I'll probably have to check the other side because I'm taking it off anyways. Just to see if there is another little instruction thing, unless it's just the same thing. If it is, that's fine. Because I'll be breaking out this box anyway, so... Just makes sense. Yeah, okay, so it's just the same little instructions on either side. So we got that there. Showing off there, and then also that there on the other side. So pretty nice. Pretty cool. Also took out our insert piece, of course. Oh, and then nice and compact. For that, we do have a little insert piece that has a little, like a background that has an orange to like a green kind of thing here. But I didn't know about this. This is a mini... Oh, yeah, they got a mini comic book. That comes with it. Yeah, that comes with this. I guess we'll be looking at that, but nice little background. Probably not really going to use it, but it's neat. Here, let me move this off the ground so I have leg room. Okay, but we'll first... Okay. Here's our mouse jaw. Looking great. Looking cool. And I don't think we'll need anything else tool-wise, so thingy is done. Oh yeah, we can compare you too. Why did I not think about this? Hold up. We are adjusting. Well, that's my name, but we are also adjusting. At the moment, just making things work. Okay. Alrighty, so first, before we get into the actual figure with all his wonderful accessories, we will get into the comic book. I forgot about this. I think they also included this in the regular He-Man and Skeletor, which makes sense to kind of keep that thing going if this kind of is a part of that same kind of style of the line, even though it is a kind of a weird kind of offshoot kind of collab, but it works. It's in this vintage, kind of modernized, kind of, I guess, kind of, you would say, remastered version. Damn, they got some little tough tape. Oh, come on. Okay. Well, I guess I do got to use my frickin' X-Acto blade yet again. This thing will not open. Okay. Jesus. That took way too much time. How the hell do they... Okay. Whatever. Get off me. Okay. This plastic. Getting going. Why is there so much? Guess who's back? I would guess it's you, Gabe. Here's our mouse jaw figure. Even does include a mini little comic book. Or is that just a... Oh, okay. It's just a bio card. I thought that it was a comic. Okay. No, yeah, they should really tell you it's like what you're getting also with this as well, but also have on here, they do have a little sheet that just says removable parts. Shows you which parts are removable, mainly the head, the arms, I guess you would call that, yeah, just the pelvic piece, or just the, yeah, or just the belt, and kind of, I don't know what you would call that, like the hips, the groin, whatever you would want to call it, and then, of course, the boots. So all of this is kind of like, I guess, kind of like interchangeable when it comes to even like with parts like these. So we're going to try that out. We're going to have a little fun, but there's our paper, but a nice little thing to get. But then, like our little card, yeah, which I thought was a comic, but it's just a little cardboard piece here. Very nice, but it has the Turtles of Grayskull logo here, and then have Trapjaw, the little drawing there with the Mauser that we saw on the actual box. But Gabe says, I'm going to eat, be right back. Okay, you're all good, Gabe. Thank you for joining the stream as always, and thank you for the like. And thank y'all for the 3 likes here on the live stream. 35 minutes in, not too bad. Mouse Jaw, evil and armed with Mauser, mutagen, mutagen master powers, Trapjaw, endless the endless array of weapons, powerful razor sharp jaw, and the cybernetic strength, and then Mauser, turtle hunting, technology, attack, and unstoppable numbers, and shell crushing jaw. So very nice, and have a nice little other art of our Mouse Jaw figure, and then little Masters and TMNT logo there. Can we do, will that work? Does this work? There. A little bit better, but there's our little logos there, so pretty nice. Pretty cool. So we're gonna move this back just a bit. Get them all centered up, and then zoom in just a little bit. There we are. So yeah, so there's Mouse Jaw. Looking pretty sick. Looking pretty cool. Really, really into this. And then, it's still nice that they gave us like a little cart back, a little thing. I kind of wish it had like a little stand it could be on, so if you want to display that, but I don't have room anyway, so I wouldn't even be able to fit it, so it doesn't matter. Just a little extra thing. But yeah, but here's our Mouse Jaw in all his glory. Looking pretty sick. So we'll first take off of, what are they calling him? Metal Botto. Weird name, but, it's just a robot turtle guy. What's his name? Metalhead? I think that's his name. It's just Metalhead. But there you have the arm and then the separate kind of hand attachment. So here's our arm piece, which just looks like Metalhead's arm, but just has some little detail, has a port there. And then this little, I guess, kind of like beam or kind of thing. I don't know what this is, but it's a nice little thing, and you can apparently, I guess, switch it out. Maybe. There we go. So you can't take out that. Oh, okay. So you put a thing in here so it attaches. Or you can put on like all the different weapons that come with him. But nice little articulation. Has the hinge there, has the upper arm there. It does have a hinge there, but kind of tough out of packaging, but not too bad. Not bad, but just a little simple arm, but we'll get out the attachments that go with, technically with the Metal Botto. There, oh, that did have a tie, but didn't need to cut it. The first one we'll look at is this little, like this laser gun type thing, which is pretty cool, in that metallic kind of blue, kind of, that marbleized plastic. It's kind of all over, but I don't really mind it. With these, I think it looks pretty good. It does have a peg on the back, but it does have like a actual like a grip if you just want a character to grip it. And he does have 2 barrels with little protrusions and then little thing on there, but it can just go like right up on there. So that's very nice. And then have this claw, kind of grabby hand with little hinge details, kind of basic kind of metal work styling going on there. You know what? I'm going to get even, I need to get even closer to get more comfortable. I gotta even move this chair forward. Hold up. Excuse me while I try to be comfortable. We're going to put on this little claw piece. Very nice. And then, of course, it's like it does kind of match the actual color of the forearm there. So that's nice to kind of connect that. And then our last piece is this, it's this axe piece there with that same metallic sheen, but the two kind of blades on either side, one going up, one going down. So pretty cool, but we're going to get that in there. But there we go. So there it is. Looking pretty cool. I'll probably have, if anything, I probably just have just a claw arm. Or maybe even just have just a regular hand just for now, just to keep it simple. If we want to try something, I guess we can, or just see. But yeah, the cool little accessories there. Pretty nice to have like a Build-A-Figure with this. It's very unique. Works very, I think it does work pretty well for the line. And you know what? I'm not going to complain about a Build-A-Figure when I got this thing for cheap. And why would I complain? Extra plastic. Extra bang for your buck. Makes sense. But yeah. So I guess first we'll bring out our actual Mauser kind of figure here. There we go. Here's our Mauser from this line. A little bit bigger than, I would say, than your typical kind of like, I would say, kind of like bigger scale Mauser, but this is a kind of like a more, I guess more cartoonish, or even more kind of like toyetic. So it's supposed to be a little bit bigger, not be super accurate. Okay, so it can do that, but it can't. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Sorry, I'm messing with this thing, but look at it in all its pure white with the one little red eye there with the jaw hinges black in there. Even has like a little, like a blaster thing, so we can open his jaw like that much, which is crazy. Does have a little like a hinge there too. It does seem a bit kind of, yeah, it doesn't seem like it really wants to move that much. If really it's like it wants to move up like that, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. You can rotate, but you can't really move side to side. And then of course here, as you're seeing, the actual neck of it actually does kind of protrude out a bit. So I guess it's supposed to kind of point more forward, but you can also rotate that at that base there. And then of course the legs are just a single kind of kick forward there, can go that much, can basically go all the way around, which is crazy. And then has this little, I guess, attachment. I think that this is just for attaching into the arm, which makes sense, but it does give him like a little, like a tail. It's not like a mouse tail or anything, but you know, despite being a Mauser. And I would have probably liked it more if it had like this little, like this, this pipe work, kind of like how this one has it. It would have been, I think, kind of more suited, but it makes sense for what they're doing here because it's just a peg, so it goes with the hands just like with these, so it makes sense. But we'll see. But the Mauser looks great, albeit a little big, and then, you know, still a little plain. But I do like the little, like the mouth thing, even like with that. And we can even do, just to show that off, we have our little kind of like our flame effect, or kind of beam effect in this all orange plastic, but looking pretty cool. Could even do, I guess if we wanted, do Mauser just by himself. If he can even support the weight. I don't know if he can. Doesn't seem like it, but go like full on. Oh, does he have hinges? Oh, he does have hinges at the actual feet there. I did not realize that, but that's nice. But look at that Mauser, bro. I'm a fire in my laser. Ah. That's perfect. That's so cool. But he's like Godzilla doing the thing. Doing the thing from, from the King of Monsters. He looks so good. He looks freaking sick. I love that. We'll get this out. Oh. Close up the mouth. Get him down, and can I get him to looking forward? But it's nice to have that extra articulation on there. So get him in a little bit more dynamic poses. I do kind of wish he could look down. Feels like he shouldn't be able, but I also feel like he really should, so that he's doing something. But but he's just a regular Mauser, and he's pretty good. He's a nice little dude. It's a nice little dude. They don't really have genders. They're fucking robots. So they're just made to hunt down, well, technically rats or mice. Mouse. But they're used to hunt down the turtles, so they're pretty good. All right, but now we'll finally get into the actual figure of this setup, which is our last thing. We'll get at the feet, get at the legs. Oh, it does have a bit of... does have a twist tie around one of the legs, so I do want to see, are there twist ties? There are twist ties around the arms as well, so we will have to use our Mr. Snippety Snip. I guess there was supposed to be a twist tie maybe around this one, unless they were just like, oh, one's good, which makes sense. Honestly, I rather prefer it. If you don't got to use twist ties, don't use them, because I don't really need them, because I don't want to fight with those. What the heck? Lockdown. Okay. Oh. All right, time to get our snippers in here to get out this trap jaw, because of course he's the one who is trapped in this packaging compared to everything else. And I do not want to compromise the paint, so we'll have to... On the back here, did get it a little bit. That sucks, but... oh, well, I guess we'll just have to kind of live with it, but... There's also something around the torso? No, it's just the arms. Okay, and we're not gonna... I could have just done that. Just come from the back. Would have been way easier. Maybe, yeah. Way easier. What am I doing? Messed up my paint for no reason, but, you won't see it. On my feet. What the heck? Oh my god. All right. Okay, there we go. Man, he was really stuck in there. But they wanted to make sure that you could not get him out of there. That is crazy. All right. We're gonna clear this out before we move our camera. Check for any notifications in case it's going down. What the? Okay. All right, we're gonna put all of our stuff away. We're gonna clean up this table. And we're gonna look at this mouse jaw. Real quick, because we're still under an hour. I can't believe it. For real. We are zooming through this. I really should be just taking my time, but I do gotta work tomorrow in the morning, so probably preferable, if anything. What am I doing with this? I'm gonna put that right there. Okay, and then we're gonna get this out of here. I don't know where those other two pieces go, but they are not there. Especially the one at the foot. It's probably just on the floor somewhere. But we'll get to it, I guess. Why is there... Oh, one's like all the way over there. What the hey? Hold up. Okay, plastic gone. Get this up here. He looks so sick. Hold up. Ugh. Still on the lookout for my thing. So that's there, that's there. Make sure everything's all cleared out. I'm really just trying to make time so I can get this thing going. Okay. So there's our mouse jaw. Look at him. Has an accessory with a flame and then has all this stuff. We'll get a little closer look at him. I gotta get back in here. Ugh. Okay. Here's our mouse jaw figure, looking pretty sweet, if I do say so. I do like the very neon kind of, or kind of even, it's like, yeah, this even gives me a Frankenstein vibes. It's like kind of like your, kind of like very classic, kind of like green, kind of monstrous, but Frankenstein type, yeah, kind of lime green, which has kind of matching there with the belt there, which does have I think it's a Turtles of Grayskull kind of shape going on there. So you have a turtle shell with the bones, and then has a little detail there for tech. And then of course on the head, instead of the regular trap jaw kind of look there, is a Mauser style head with the eye there, and then with the teeth that kind of match with the actual Mauser that we see over here, who looks great, so it makes sense. There, he already has some fuzz on him. What the hey? Okay. And then, of course, as we saw, the jaw does hinge, so you can see kind of, I think that's technically supposed to be like that. Yeah, the inside of his mouth, but it's all kind of like a greenish, kind of like a dark green. It's supposed to kind of like indicate like a black, but it works and it looks good. And then nothing very much on the back, just some basic kind of detailing there. But then at the torso, have your kind of like your basic He-Man torso, like in blue, and then the same kind of basic He-Man arm. I think just has a different band there as usual, has a grip hand, but has an overlay. It might even be, yeah, it is a separate piece. Where you have these two red straps connect there on the back, and then that connects to this whole kind of supposed to be like this whole robotic, kind of like a Mauser, kind of like, I guess kind of like attachment, or even like just on the body. Yeah, because that makes sense. It's like, because he doesn't have the other arm, so that makes sense. That this all connects here around, and then to like this Mauser kind of looking shoulder there has like the eye thing going on here about 4 times over. Well, 5 times, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5. But not painted on the last 2. It's just the red on there. So that would have been nice, but it's like, I get what they're going for. But yeah, it has like the little, like the zigzag to indicate the jaw, but it's still like a cylindrical kind of shape there, more basic. But then kind of go down to that elbow side, and it looks like a whole kind of like a flamethrower attachment, but in all white. Looking pretty cool. And then, of course, it is attached to all this kind of like this whole white part that has some padding and some metal detailing there. So pretty cool. And then, of course, as we saw earlier, does have a port and does specifically work for this accessory. The actual full-length gun accessory, because I'm pretty sure it's like, does Trapjaw just have that as a weapon? That's just his thing. If I'm to be mistaken or not, but he's really cool. He's really neat. And then take that off for a second to get over everything as well. And then with the torso, just your regular thing going on here. Torso actually does kind of, yeah, it does kind of right up a bit, but in any case. And then with the legs, have some more kind of like padding and kind of metal work. Yeah, that's going on here. Has the white, kind of thigh pieces that match with the white of the arm of the, of the add-on, and then with the head. They're also with the cuff as well. And then has just some metal kind of detailing there, but has like some two-toed, like a robot feet, which are pretty cool, pretty nice. Does have 2 peg holes, and it just has like your serial numbers there, but pretty cool. It is actually pretty nice. Really kind of into this look for him. Of course, it's not the classic look that we're all familiar with the kind of like the pink helmet and with just the metal arm. I believe it does have some attachments, but from what I know, from what I remember, that's kind of it. But it looks cool, and I do like the design here. And then I guess if we want to go over articulation, because of course we will, it does have a ball at the top, the neck there, so we can look down about that far, look up about that far, and do a side to side, can do a full 360. And then as we saw earlier, the jaw does hinge there. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop. Sorry. Okay, and then at the arm, so we'll go with the regular one, hinges up about this far, and then on the other one only hinges about that far because of the sculpting, but can do a full 360 on the one arm, and then 360 there also on the other. A little bit more looser. I think this one is a bit more dynamic because of the kind of like, because the setup, and it does kind of stick out a little bit, but you can kind of get it to hide a bit. It works. It still works. But then a single hinge on each elbow. Honestly, do get a little bit more on just a regular muscle hand. Unless you kind of want to push this, but we don't want to break this, so we're going to be careful. And then, of course, rotation and a in and out hinge for your basic hand, which does have like a grip, but you don't really have anything to hold, really. And then, of course, this doesn't. It's like, well, this does have a rotation there, but that's just it. And then at the torso, of course, has a torso. It does have a rotation there. Doesn't really have a tilt. Does kind of sway a bit back, but if you got it on there, it's on there. And then, of course, the belt kind of goes over to cover up. So if you prefer him kind of more blocked off there or blocked off there, I think that's better. But it does kind of want to default to just doing plopping like that. But probably prefer like this, where you can see a little bit more of the pants, just for differentiation. But it looks pretty good, and it can stay up there if you're not really messing with it. So looks pretty good. Looks nice. But then at the thighs, you do get a little bit of rotation there. Nothing very much, but they kick out forward. Not that far with the leg. Kick back about that far. Kick out. Not too bad. Not too bad. And then does have a single jointed knee there. Not too bad. Does have a boot swivel there. Yeah, which is always nice to see. And then does have a little bit of hinge at the feet. It's not really great, and it is kind of blocked off by these 2 side pieces, but does have a little bit of rocker going on there, so gotta have that ankle pivot. At least a little bit, just to make it a bit easier, because these are kind of like these classic, I would say, more vintage style toys, more kind of like more articulated and modernized a bit. And of course, And of course with this one is a, you know, a collaboration with the Ninja Turtles. Get this a little more centered. But yeah, he looks really cool. So yeah, so I guess like we'll actually finally do the thing that he's kind of meant to do fully. I think as a figure is of course get the Mauser on here, and they also look great together. Just have them side by side. They look so cool. They're cool little buddies. Man, I hate those turtles. Man, I hate that He-Man or that other man. But of course, as it showed in the instructions, we will just take out the legs here. I don't know how exactly to do it. Guess I just kind of just pull it out. There we go. And then as it showed, I'm supposed to store these on these little ports on either side of his belt here. And that kind of works. It gives him like the whole like the body build, even if you don't give him the little attachment. So you can see is like that he uses parts from the Mausers to kind of like make up his armor right now. So that's really, really cool. And then of course, here at the end, we'll have him doing this. We have the Mauser. On here. It does have to kind of be like that. Kind of wish he could be more. I do kind of wish that there was like a ball down here at the end of the neck, at least, just to give you a little bit more kind of like a wiggle room. Well, this isn't bad, but it's just kind of like an awkward kind of thing that's going on here. Because you don't have a hinge, but it's like it wants to look that way. It wants to look up, but you can't really unless it's that way. But then it looks weird. I'll have to look at my, okay, here, I'll look at my, yeah, I'll look at my promo arts again. But there it is. Pretty interesting. So how are you supposed to, so it just sits on there? So it's supposed to, okay, so it's supposed to go up. So it's just supposed to like, just be pointing up. That's very weird as a design choice. Personally, so it's just supposed to like just do this. Like, watch out, I'm gonna shoot up into the sky. Like that'll do anything. Like it might spook you, but it's like I'm not really hurting anyone unless there's like a flying guy around. But you know. But yeah, he looks all right. Not too bad. I wonder if this flame attachment can still work. Well, of course, as we saw it did before. But here is our little flame attachment in there. So if you want to have them burning, but with the Mauser, you can do that. Oh, focus on him. He looks great. They look great together. It's a cool little pair. But I think we will take off the Mauser because I think I'll prefer him with just his regular gear kind of going on. The Mauser, he might just go by himself. I don't know. I have to kind of figure it out. But I do like that flame effect does fit in his hand very well. But yeah. So there's our thing. Get him. Look in there. And then I do want to do, okay, so we will do this. We are going to have a bit of fun before we call it good. Because this figure is great. It's a fun toy, a fun figure. I definitely just want to see just a regular, just a trap jaw. It's like I definitely need to pick up one at some point. But this one, you know, it fits the bill. It looks great. I love the mainly all white and the blue and the reds and the greens. And how it just all works together. And, you know, it still works within the Masters of the Universe kind of like style and kind of theming. But, you know, but with that little turtle, yeah, a little extra with the Mauser. And I like the white on him, but definitely need that classic look. But I love this figure. It looks great. It could be better, I think, with just little kind of like articulation things and then kind of more with the accessories. Like I kind of wish that there was like another thing like for his arm specifically, but we can. I do want to show off. We also are able, I think, to put in these attachments. So if you want him where he's got an axe like this, even though, you know, it doesn't really make sense, but if you just want to put him in there, have the claw in there too. And it kind of works with the blue of the body a bit, but, you know, not really totally on theming. And then this still kind of works. I like the gun. Yeah, like our laser rifle there. So he's pretty cool. But you can also, as we saw, take out the pieces. We'll do this behind camera because there we go. Not too bad. Just a bit of forced or a bit of pressure there. But we will try on the metal bolo. The metal robo botto. Metal botto. What the hey? It does kind of stick down a bit, but there we go. You can't get it in there, so you can't have them. Just more of a regular robot arm. So that's pretty neat that you can do that. So they give you like that option. Kind of, it's like I guess kind of like implying that with the sheet that's like, hey, it's like you can switch out this arm. You know, it's all modular. Looks great. And it looks pretty good. And and I like the flare of like the little turtle thing, but you can also, you know, as we saw, switch out either, well, I think you can either do, no, it won't fit in there. It's way too small. Okay. Get our little wrist attachment there, and then we'll just do just the gun. Yeah, just the laser gun with this guy. There we go. There it is. There he is with his metal arm with the gun. Well, with the metal botto, the metal head. What do call? Yeah, why do I even say that name? Metal botto arm there. So pretty cool. Pretty neat. Looks pretty sweet. Oh yeah, we can also, just for fun, put on the flame attachment there. So he has a different way of showing that. Actually feels more kind of like more of tune of the original. But I think we will probably prefer the other one. But this one still works pretty well. So if you want to use this for anything else, I guess, would work. Oh, I could do, okay. Well, we got some swapping to do, I think, here on the stream. And we got plenty of time. We're only an hour and 9 minutes in. This is perfect timing, y'all. Okay, get this arm back in there. But yeah. But they all look great. I love the look of this Mouse jaw. I do feel his eyes are a bit wonky. They're not perfectly straight. This one is going a little to the side, but you know what? I think it works still. I think he looks alright. Looks awesome. I love the whole aesthetic of the Mauser kind of coming into this, and then even being being able to attach it with the peg on the back. But he might just be perfectly fine just like this, just looking cool on the shelf, looking scary. Just really, it's like it's like just being, basically it's like just being just my track jaw for now. But it's cool to have this different look, and as always, as I say, we love the Ninja Turtles here plenty, so not too bad. Here we go. Okay. But those look so good. They look great together. So we will do we want to, okay. I'm going to move these for now. So I think we're done with our main kind of showcase of this. I think we will kind of zoom out a bit. Give us a bit of room. We're going to probably come down a bit too. Get more in line with what we're doing. Moving to the side yet again. But yeah, what do we want to do? Okay. So we're going to do where we are going to do our comparisons now. Oh, while we're doing that, we are going to do excuse me. Looking at our top fans. Number 1 is Gabe. 75 XP. Thank you, Gabe. I guess for being a top fan. But that's pretty cool. Thank you for supporting. But yeah, getting on with our comparisons. So first, we're going to be sticking with the Masters of the Universe line that I collect, as y'all have seen here on the streams. Have the He-Man, of course, with I think this is the Prince Adam head that I put on here, but has the double-sided blade that also came with the Skeletor, who also looks great. So, cool little pairing. We're going to move you. Bit over here. We're going to move you a bit over here. Move you. Over here as well. You look great, though. They all look pretty good together. And yeah, and they do work really well, so don't really stick out too much. I think it's just with this mouse jaw, he's a little more defined. He is a bit later in the line compared to this He-Man and Skeletor, but they still look great. Still work very well together. I guess we'll get the Mauser right here in the front, because it just makes sense, because he's a small dude. But there they are. Kind of the best shot so far of what we got. But yeah, look great. On to our next ones. We have hold up. If I can get them. Bro. Honestly, it's like, if I will say one thing I do not like about this line, I think that they're actually, like, their gripping hands are not really that good enough, especially for any kind of like He-Man specific figures. I think that they just barely work. They just make the grips way too small. I know that's probably more accurate to what it actually does, but I don't like it. Please. You can, yeah, you don't have to be like to a T. I mean, you're doing this turtle stuff. Stop using these crappy hands. Okay, so here's our Prince Adam. Looking pretty good. Yeah, despite the scuffs, and also with the head not really looking that kind of like 1-to-1 compared to the actual He-Man. But that's the, or yeah, because that's the first release He-Man head on that Prince Adam body. Because my Prince Adam, you know, he's secondary. He-Man's #1. And then we have the more kind of like, I would say, also the the 2-pack version of Skeletor. This is the one where technically before he becomes a Skeletor, but I have the Skeletor styled head. Can this thing? And this is the one thing with this guy. Oh, is he pretty dusty? I should have dusted these guys a little bit ago, but I always keep forgetting because I'm busy. But anyways, he does not want to stand. There's also another kind of problem with this guy, is that he does not really want to support his own weight ever. I remember this being a problem. Okay, come on. Also, he doesn't hold his scepter very well either, so. Another common occurrence. Bruh. Oh. I hate. All my hate. All my hate. This is for all the haters. These are the haters right here. The ones praying for the downfall. They look like this motherfucker. But that Skeletor, he is. He's a badass, though. I do love this look of Skeletor. More kind of, I guess more kind of like, he feels more powerful here. A lot darker, even though this is supposed to be more, kind of like more sooner. But again, you can interpret. He can wear these. Yeah, he can wear that fit again after he becomes Skeletor, because he's sick. And that head sculpt is amazing. So he might become my new favorite one. I don't know. We'll see. Because I do like this classic one. I think the classic one looks great. I love the colors. I love just the simplicity of the design. But I also love this more modern one. More darker. Well, not more modern, but, you know. More darker. Has the cape. Has the different kind of like logo. It has the bat kind of thing instead of the... well, it's still the same bat thing. It's just colored in with the green and has the pink little thing there. It just looks so good. And he looks pretty good. It's like, yeah, with this trap jaw. Yeah, I think also the He-Man looks pretty great with it. It's like the Prince Adam. It is He-Man, but, you know, this is specifically his Prince Adam look and his uniform there. So, yeah, pretty cool. Not too bad. Not too bad indeed. Especially that Skeletor. It's impressive. Probably one of my favorites of this whole wave. He might just take up. Okay, we'll see. Okay. And then, so this is the comparison we've needed to really see. Mainly with if this thing will work. Which, of course, it does not. Because his hand's been on doing another thing. Come on. Okay. Here is our... I forget what he's called in the 2-pack, but this is kind of like kind of changed Trapjaw. So this is before he becomes Trapjaw. Because, of course, this came in the 2-pack with the Skeletor before he was Skeletor. And I can't remember his name either. But there they are. You see, like, the evolution. Kind of like have the actual of the character. and how it's, and how it's more kind of like more accurate to the original toy. But then this is still pretty good. It's pretty nice. So yeah. And I do actually want to try, because if these arms they are removable, could maybe get a little closer. Using the flame hand there, which isn't too bad. Could do that. Where that is like his first, like his mod that he gets. Kind of like an in-between. And it makes sense that he has the same kind of thing there. That's actually kind of cool. That is like very actually like kind of classic He-Man vibes I'm getting from that. Even with the regular face there, but even still. And and is this the same sculpt? I think it mainly is. Yeah, except for the feet. So basically just the same exact figure as this. Even has the same bracer too. So that's not different. It just has the closed hand. So yeah, so you could probably like switch with these two. It probably wouldn't match up too well with the hands or arm wise, because it's like or even with the torso or the legs, because they are in that in that brighter blue. But of course the legs you can switch out if you wanted to, but we'll kind of see. We'll just play with this. But I do like this little robot arm add-on, so we might just keep that, because he does come with a gun as well, but he doesn't. Yeah, he's not really able to hold it, and he has these three kind of like tabs on the back, and they're not really meant to hold the gun, but I always just kind of like put it right there on the back in the middle, but it doesn't really stay on securely. So whatever. I think he'll be like this for now on, unless I want to keep him on the actual like the vehicle that came in. That came with the the Prince Adam, which is like their little like their hovercraft here. Yeah, which I usually have the trap jaw on, but it might be sitting empty, or maybe I'll just put Prince Adam on there. Have him a place to go. So I can put these two guys. I don't know. I'll have to see, because he can still, okay. Because he can still technically sit on there. Just won't be able to hold it, but still in any case, he looks great. And that might not have looked great here on the stream, but that's okay. Because we're having fun. Do another thing. I'm checking my... See if anyone is here in live chat. No one. That's fine. We're an hour and 23 minutes in. How late is it? It's 7 o'clock. Okay. All right. So we'll do our next up comparisons with a kind of more smaller figures. Also going to be getting into turtles a bit, just to kind of get going with this bit. Oh. But there they are. Looking pretty cool. Looking pretty neat. And so here's our... I can't remember what his name is. Is it like Ozark or something? Or like Orb? Something like that. I keep thinking it's that or something. But he looks pretty good. Of course, like he is more modern. This is the one that came with the with the caveman He-Man figure. So he is a little bit more modernized, but I think he still kind of works in the stylings. I'll probably just have to just pick up just the actual one that's been on shelves, but I just haven't gotten it because I'm like, I'll wait. He looked good, but I like this one. But then I do want to get into turtles. And of course, we're going to do our Mauser. So there first is our NECA Mauser, which is, our NECA cartoon Mauser from the accessory pack that they put out a bit ago. But yeah, it's like it is in that all white. Does have the same kind of red eye thing that's going on there, but you know, just on a bigger scale essentially. And then also with more kind of like more specific details with this, I think to be more cartoon accurate and of course more articulated at the feet. Just has just the regular open jaw there, doesn't have the little pipe that goes through there, so you see that difference there. And also with the with the sculpting and the painting and the detailing and the proportions. And also this one even has a ball, but still has like that little piping kind of thing going on there. But looks great. It's kind of like a big one. It's kind of it's kind of like you have like your regular one, and then you have like a plus size of it. So got to see how these look with the actual like the turtles. So these might actually work pretty well. Even more specifically with the with the remastered. We'll have to see. There's our regular kind of Mauser comparison, and then do also want to do with the with the Mirage Mauser that came with. Who did you come with? Did you come with? You came with Splinter. I think it came with Splinter, but it's a pretty good little Mauser figure. Has nice little shading and detailing, a little bit more bigger in proportionate, but the whole paint scheme is all different because this is, you know, that more comic booky with the, if your grays and blues and your blacks and all your line work there. Very different styling, but based off of the original, which is just a full metal, so it's not like a painted white. And a little bit more kind of like stockier in built. But looks great. Looks pretty cool. You kind of see how they're looking like that, like fully neutral. We'll do like a little, we'll do a lineup. Get out of here, Wizard Man. I don't know. Kind of get them more. There we go. Look at that. That's super cool. That's really nice. Yeah. Oh. Okay. In this? There. Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead, get my camera back up here too. Okay. Get our dude back in here. Get this down here. Get you guys out of here. But nice little Mausers. Cool to see different comparisons, but can't wait to really see how they're going to look with all the rest of these figures. And, you know, just for fun, to kind of just do, it's like, I know these aren't going to be like exact, like one-to-one, kind of like scaling or even like toy-wise, but do want to show off the NECA cartoon Leonardo, and that's not too bad. At least kind of like in universe, they work pretty well. But then you have someone like Shredder, who is, well, pretty huge and kind of doesn't make sense to be, you know, this big and in this kind of stylization. It is definitely more cartoonish and more taller as per. It's more of like a 6-inch line, but it is accurate to the heights of the show for the most part. But then, yeah, but the Mouser actually looks pretty good too with them. Doesn't look bad. With the Raphael is a little big, but that's fine. And then even with the Shredder, he doesn't look too bad. Kind of more of a simplified, like kind of like more like that lineless look that's going on there. Can this thing? There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all with that Shredder. Looking pretty good. Even though he doesn't scale well, but you know. And then doing some more NECA, even more ridiculous. Say kind of like size or even like style-wise comparisons. But for stuff that makes sense and something that might work all right, have the NECA cartoon Splinter with his staff kind of hanging in the air because it doesn't really stay in his hand like how I want it, but there he is. And there is our Bebop. Kind of my favorite of the two. Rocksteady's good, but Bebop's my guy. But they look pretty good. Bebop is a little big. Pretty tall. A little too much, but yeah, but Splinter works pretty well. I think he does kind of stand out more because he has the soft goods, and I think the styling just isn't really too much there, but they still look good. And if you want to do a nice picture, and it might work pretty well. Still seeing where that thing is going. Okay. I don't know if that picks up. I'll have to watch that back. All right. Oh, the eyes. Whoa. I forgot I did that. Yeah, I forget that he actually does have that as a thing. That's actually really funny. Huh? And then our last NECA comparisons gonna be the Cartoon Collection Baxter Stockman, kind of like your more mutated type character, which I think still kind of works because, you know, he's involved in the whole, like in the whole, is he involved in the first of Krang's ooze experiments? Okay. But fused with Baxter Stockman's Mauser. So that makes sense. I gotta get a Krang out then. Man. Okay. Hold up. Okay. But yeah, but there's Baxter, who of course made the Mausers, and the Mauser next to him. Looks pretty good. Pretty nice. Not too bad. Works pretty well. It is huge, but not too bad. But then you got the Fugitoid from Mirage again, who is one of my favorite figures of really all time. Just because I just love the styling and it works so well, especially on camera. Even with this weird purple lighting, but I think it still looks good. I think it looks great. But now I need to get a Krang out. But even though it's like he doesn't really match up with really anything else in the collection, he works with the cartoon line fine. But with this, the mouse jaw, he looks all right. Not one-to-one. It would be cool if they did a Fugitoid in this line. Do a Fugitoid in this Masters of the Universe collab line, please. Please, Mattel. Please, I guess Playmates or Nickelodeon. Let it happen again. Okay, we're gonna sneak in a Krang if I can. Ugh. You know what we might do? Okay, we're gonna do the smart way. Do this with an older figure and more stylized, so I think it'll work better anyways. We'll do him, and then we'll do who we want to do. We're gonna do. Do we want to do Donnie? Yeah, we'll do. Okay. Okay, okay. Nice. Okay, so we're going to move these guys out of the way. Nice comparisons. But then first, we will do comparisons with the newer turtle figures that I got recently. Yeah, that I opened up just a few weeks ago. Have the remastered box set Leonardo and the remastered Playmates Splinter. A bit tiny. They're very, very small, admittedly. But, you know, but this is kind of like on like the same kind of like a level, I would say, of what they're doing, where they're kind of taking the old toys and trying to remaster them, if you say, make them more updated with more articulation, but then still kind of keep the scaling and everything going on there, but staying with the most part for the classic toy. Kind of less so when it comes to Splinter and Shredder. Yeah, the Shredder's all right. He's pretty good. He's just not like as big or bulky as I think he should be. Kind of proportion-wise, it's like he just looks like a dude. And then, yeah, which is accurate, but even still, I like that more kind of toy design where it's more kind of like musculature. Yeah, I don't know. It's like it just seems like proportionally like way different. It's way more kind of like toyetic instead of less cartoonish, which I think the new one is more based off of. But then even compared to this new remastered Splinter, it's pretty good. It's a nice upgrade. It's kind of like, okay, so this is kind of like what I think that the Splinter is supposed to represent, kind of design-wise, but they went more simplified with the original. But even like with this, it still looks good. It's not entirely accurate. Of course, having like a whole like a plastic kind of like clothing there, of course, isn't accurate to the original toy, but well, I got the original. Hold on. You can see what I'm talking about. There it is. Look at it. Look how different they are. It still looks great. And then also this one has the whited out eyes, which would be more accurate for this to have, but I don't mind it here. This is still a cool figure, and it still has the hidden blade in there, but it has the original thing and everything. And it is from 1989, 88. I think it's 88. It is 88. 1988. Pretty good. Pretty cool. I'm just rambling, bro. All right, get out of here. And then I think our final comparisons for the night, if I am thinking correctly. So we do have a Krang. We grabbed up the Playmates Krang, who I think actually works pretty well scale-wise. He's a big guy. He's a giant brain with cool tech and has the kind of like the mind, the brain kind of like sucker thing or whatever. That's pretty cool. But then we are going to get one last figure with the Playmates Donatello, also very small. So you can kind of see it's like how that scaling kind of works with these guys. But that Krang honestly works pretty well. This guy holds up. This is the I think one of their re-releases back in like, what was it, like 2018, 2019? This was from 2013. Has it really been that long since I've had this figure? Well, that's toy. This toy. That's toy. This toy. This toy. Sorry. Okay. But yeah. Cool Krang. Definitely need to, I guess, kind of see if like what's going to work more better, kind of like turtle-wise with these guys, besides getting the actual like the line, because I don't have those right now. And I'm probably not really going to get them because I'm not really into the whole thing, but they look great in the armor. I'm just like, It's like right now I shouldn't be getting more turtles. I shouldn't even be getting like any more turtles anytime soon. Nothing of turtles. But I am getting more. Anyways. Because they got so many. Because there's so many cool ones. They all look great. I can't help myself. All right. Enough of rambling. I think we're going to get everything kind of cleared out here. So we'll do, what do we want to have out? We'll, of course, have He-Man. I think we're going to keep Krang out for Turtle-wise, but we'll do our He-Man side. Here. We'll move these guys a little more closer. We'll put He-Man here. And then we'll put our classic Skeletor back here. If he wants to be seen. If he chooses to stand and being seen. Which he does not, I guess. Get him with the He-Man sword. There we go. Yeah. And then what do we want to do? Where we're going to get, okay, we're going to, yeah, okay, so we're going to do this one instead. Hold up. If I can get it to work. But there's our other trap jaw. I think that works better. And it makes more sense for what we're going for, because it is him. And we'll get Skeletor back here. Yeah. And then we'll do the dude. The O dude. The little dude. That doesn't work at all. Hold on. Got all these muscular guys, and then and then the small guy gets screwed. How do we do? You need to move your sword like this. Can we get you in here, or are you too tall? You're too tall. Bro, you're going over here. There you go. Be mysterious. Be cool. And not be in the way. But you do also kind of hide Skeletor, so we need to do more further back. We need Skeletor more out. That's fine. We want to get everyone's faces as clear as possible. But that's not a bad little side for He-Man. So then how about for Turtles? Really, for scale-wise, I guess I would have to go with the NECA cartoon for now, even though they're not really that style. Even though, like, I do feel that the originals are a bit better. Well, we are going to get out the Mousers, of course, because that just makes sense. Do that here and here, but we're going to get Krang a little closer here because he's the one who built him, technically, in the canon of this show. I'm going to move you a bit over here. Thank you. That works a lot better. We're going to move these guys more back. Okay. There we go. All right. And then, of course, I think Baxter Stockman also makes sense because he made the Mausers, so using his technology. I do need to get the actual the actual human version of him. I need to get that whole that 4-pack because you got Hamato Yoshi or Hamato Yoshi, however they pronounce it. Hamato Yoshi. Then we'll just get a Fugitoid in here for fun. Because it's Fugitoid. Ooh. And then we do need a turtle. We do we want a Splinter? Well, we're going to do a turtle anyways. And we're just going to do Raphael from the cartoon. Well, if we want to actually plan this out in accordance. Hold on. Get everything out of the way. We need another reset. Need a recenter. Okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Then Krang comes in here. Baxter's here. And Fugitoid can be right in here. Look at that. Those look so good. I can even just fill more in the back if I wanted to. Well, of course, can put the giant thing back here. Fills out a lot of space. Then you could get, if you wanted to on the turtle side, you could get Shredder back here. He even fits in frame. Not his thing. His head crest thing always pops off of the top of the helmet and the one that comes in the packaging. Of course. Always pops off whenever I use it, but the accessory one, no, that one's just fine. That one fits just fine, but this one keeps wanting to fall off. I'll probably just have to heat it up or something. Let it kind of conform. Okay. There we go. Shredder's in there. He's not perfect, but he's in there. Then more turtle-wise, we'll get Bebop in here. Just for fun. And then I think we can sneak Splinter in there. He might not be seen on screen, but he's in there. Well, if he's not seen on screen, I don't want to put him in there. Okay, so we're going to do He-Man stuff, so we're going to put in Cooler Skeletor in the back for now. Not going to be seen, but you can see his staff back there, but he's cool. And then I'm going to just put in Prince Adam because, oh, why not? Fill out the hole. And he's back there. You can't even see him if you wanted to. If we turn the head. Like barely, you can barely see him, and then you can barely see this guy. There he is. Get your stick out of the way. There he is, right behind He-Man. He-Man. I know that's not his original voice, but Everyone just remembers it as that. There's our Prince Adam. There's our dude. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Look at all those guys. Looking all pretty sick. Looking nice. Looking cool. So yeah. That's a few other figures. I mean, I could just get Splinter in here if I wanted to. If I really wanted to, I'm going to get him in here. I immediately failed. I literally just dropped him. Am I just rambling? I'm just rambling, y'all. But I'm having fun. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're enjoying watching this video. He keeps dropping his cane, so it's just going to go on the floor. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to sneak him in right in here in the middle. I don't think you can even see him. You can see his one eye right there behind Raphael and Fugitoid. But you know what? That's good enough. That's pretty good. So yeah, hope y'all have enjoyed this live stream. I've had a good time. We're at nearly 2 hours. 7 hours and 29 minutes. So yeah, well, we're at 7:29. We have not been on stream for 7 hours, excuse me. We've been on stream for 1 hour, 51 minutes, and about 40 seconds. So, pretty nice. And thank you all for the 4 likes, and thank you to the 1 viewer here on the stream. But yeah, that's really it for the whole showcase and our live stream. Looking at these guys here, and they all look great together. So yeah, so it's been nice looking at this mouse jaw figure. It's really cool seeing more of a variety of when it comes to properties actually working together and making cool stuff from that. So something like mouse jaw, it's really cool, and seeing other things. And then especially I've been looking at getting the Masters of the Universe X the Thundercats stuff whenever that's coming out, if that is out. I don't know if that's like online exclusive or if those are in store. I think they're in store. I just haven't seen them at all. But yeah, but with those, I can't wait to get those at some point, like that Lionel and that Mumra, and even like the Cheetah, they look super good. So I'm like, this might be the one, y'all. This might finally be the one Thundercats line I actually get. Because I do like these stylized kind of toy versions, but they look really cool and they look awesome. So yeah. What else is there? If y'all here on the live stream have any questions or want to see anything of the collection, I have plenty to show off. I have literally a whole thing. So, but yeah. Anything else? I'll give y'all a second. I'm gonna take my water break. Also, we're still waiting on this. My last thing to arrive. I might go check on that. Here, I'll go check real quick before hold up. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Sorry about that. I was checking. So, yes, the package, I thought that would be here today. Probably not going to get here on time by the end of the stream because I don't want to keep the stream going too long for y'all. We might just go right up until like 2 hours. Call it good. If it's not here, it's not here. Because I would need, what, like 15 more minutes before it gets here. And that's a long time, but especially if y'all don't want to really chat, to be honest. Because I'm kind of over with the review. So we'll see. But we'll ramble for a bit. Yeah, I got plenty of time for that. But yeah, but nice figures. Really want to see more of them and more of kind of like this style of figures, but in different kind of like franchises and stuff like that. Also, you know, be sure, like the video, comment what you want to see here on the channel. If you want to see more videos, more live streams, more specific kind of things I got, or other things, I might just, I don't know. I'll see what I gotta do. Because I might want to do like a whole like collection video, because this whole collection honestly needs to kind of shine for a bit. Well, we might do that for the end of the year. Do a whole collection rundown. Just showing what I got once I get it all going. So, yeah. So I guess look forward to that. I just got that idea just looking at my collection. I'm like, oh, I can do a whole collection thing. So easy. It's like I can be like, yeah, this is my entire collection as a video and maybe even as a live stream. So yeah. All right. So yeah. And you know, also subscribe. A subscription goes a long way. I still want to maybe try to get to 500 by the end of the year, but we are just, I think, barely making it over to 300. So 300 would be cool. Maybe 400? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it depends on my progress as a creator. Because I still have to do more videos at some point. But doing these live streams are just super, super nice, super chill. Kind of have my disconnect from the world, you know. We kind of need it these days. And also just keeps me going with looking at figures and just showing off what I have and showing y'all. Man, I really still gotta fill 3 hours just to make sure. All right, we'll see. I gotta see. Might wait a bit. I might even want to. Yeah, because I don't want to touch this because I gotta take a picture of this. But for something that's on screen, I guess kind of, I guess would say, look forward to this ghost face next week. Can we do a more zoomed out? But look forward to this guy. Oh, that shows the thing. That is very unprofessional. I do not like. But there is our kind of ghost face that we're going to see next week. So be ready for it. I'm looking forward. I'm giving you too much of a big look there. But it's looking really cool. So can't wait to get that. Been needing a new ghost face for a while. And, you know, ready for Halloween. For sure. Gotta be one of the most, probably like unique holidays. And the one that really sticks out to me. I don't know what I prefer over the other. Christmas, I'm like, okay, I get free stuff. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But getting the candy, that's nice. And dressing up and hanging out with friends, having a good time. Maybe going trick-or-treating. Also fun too, a little bit of an activity, but gotta be careful, especially now. Don't know what people are doing. But, you know, have fun. Don't let the world stop you from being you. Do what you want to do. Have fun. I'm really just feeling this whole, I got a minute, y'all. Package is not arriving on time, which sucks. But, you know, but okay. I could do a little like an unboxing video. Do like a, it's here. It's a box. It's the freaking box, bro. Okay. But yeah. Okay, so with our last minute, we're going to show one more time. So be sure, like the video. Go check out the other videos too. Check out the other live streams. I got a lot of shit going on. Comment what you want to see on this channel. Anything at all. Even some, I guess, it's like some kind words would help. As always. And then subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I will take a subscription. Let's get to it. Let's get to a good goal. All right. But I will be signing off, y'all. We'll give you another minute or two just for safety. But yeah, cool figures, fun time. I'm still rambling. But y'all have a good night. Have a good one. I'll see y'all. Goodbye.